We're happy to have Bryan Passink on this morning.
Hey, Bryan, now before we get started, take your right hand.
Get the first word in.
Take your right hand and take your Alabama hat off and set it down. Let me hear it hit the table. All right, set it down. Now, he and I had an argument in the first hour. He's trying to, he meaning your basketball coach, the guy you're talking to on the other line, says that Alabama has a better basketball arena than Auburn. I about fell out of my chair. I thought he's just saying that to have he judges arena based on size. Now, take your Alabama hat off. As a player, which arena would you rather play in? Coleman Coliseum or whatever the crap they call that Auburn arena down there? Go ahead, tell the truth.
All right. No, I'll say this.
Here comes
Auburn's nice. I see the argument on both. I like 15,000 plus, almost 16,000. That's something that got my attention as a 17-year-old, and that's something that continues to get the attention of recruits around the Southeast, and now going a little more national under Avery Johnson. But Auburn's is nice. It's different. It's smaller. It's much nicer than their old place. It's a nice arena.
Are you in politics, Bryan? Bryan, you're not answering my question.
He did answer. He's on my side.
Oh, good. Yeah. No, he did. I told you to take the hat off, Bryan.
I'll say this.
Who has a better environment for basketball?
Well, it depends. I mean,
God.
For Alabama and Auburn, I mean, if you have it packed, one thing I'll tell you the advantage that Auburn has. And it's really, I don't know what else you could do in Coleman Coliseum for this. Their students are right on the floor. Now, it was designed that way. To their credit, they put the students down on the floor. A lot of schools around the country have really brought the students closer to the floor. And yeah, that makes it a better environment. It's hard to do that with Coleman Coliseum because of the way that the Coliseum's built. The stands just aren't as close to the court.
So then Auburn has a better environment. Quit trying to be so political.
I'll tell you, listen, I mean, Coleman Coliseum, when Alabama's good and it's packed, is as good as anywhere. And, Auburn's is good. It's going to be great tonight. They just beat Kentucky. I don't know. There's some nice arenas around the SEC. Coleman Coliseum, I think, is a nice arena. Is it set up right with the where the seats are? No, it's not ideal. I think most of the seats are a little too far away, and that's my problem with Coleman Coliseum. But with what they've done with improvements, I mean, it's a nice arena. It's an impressive arena when you walk in. And when it's packed, it's going to be packed Saturday for Ben Simmons and company coming to Tuscaloosa. It's a sellout. It should be a great environment. But no, I like Auburn. That arena is a nice arena, but I'm going with your dad, Coleman Coliseum. I know it was 15,043. I think it's 15,300 now. And when it's packed, it's rocking.
Go ahead, Dad. I hope you say a prayer after this show for live.
He knows. He understands
who signed his paycheck.
I know.
He needs to buy a political ad on our show. I mean, he's a politician.
He's all right, boys. All right. I see if I'm coaching the game. A great try to put pressure on 3-point shooting. If I'm Alabama, I try to do a good job of pressuring and not getting beat on the dribble, which doesn't go hand in hand, but to be in a position on the weak side where I get to contest the shot, but stay in a position where I don't get beat on the dribble, because I need to know there's going to be some that are going to take it to the hole, and there's going to be some that are not. And so I need to know who does and who doesn't. And so I think that's a key for me. I probably would do a lot of switching in the game, and I would probably try to you're playing in a game where everybody's going to shoot some threes. I would try to determine, and I already have determined, who I might need to take out of that game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, 3-point shooting is a key. Especially Auburn with Kareem Canty and their perimeter players. I mean, they've got guys like Canty, like Bryce Brown, T.J. Lang. All three of those guys can shoot it, and they shoot a bunch of them. Lead the league in 3-point attempts, lead the league in 3-point makes, and the percentages are going up. So perimeter defense, a key tonight for Alabama. And, the good thing is this Alabama team has been really good defensively through most of the season, especially the perimeter guys. So,
yeah.
I expect to see Retno Basahan matched up on Kareem Canty, who's been really good for Auburn this year. One of the top newcomers, the transfer from Marshall. He's been the key to their team. But they're a team that was coming into the Kentucky game, maybe questioning themselves a little bit on a losing streak, getting beat pretty badly.
Were they?
Against the team. So, so they're coming in with confidence. There was going to be an excitement level, and Barry would tell you it's the greatest environment in the history of college basketball in Auburn Arena. But it was going to be good anyway. But it's going to be rocking tonight. And Alabama's going to have to defend the three and also handle the crowd, which I think is going to be pretty good.
Well, Alabama, to me, they're frustrating. They'd be frustrating to me if I was Avery Johnson, but they would be frustrating to me if I was Bruce Pearl. And what I mean by that is they have guys that are streaky. I mean, you have Riley Norris get you, 27 or 28, and then he comes back and gets you 6 or 8. You got a Basahan who's put 20-something on the board. Shannon Hale can do that. Coleman's done it, but none of them have done it consistently. So as Avery kind of gets ready for a game, he never knows what he's going to get. On the flip side of that, if you're Bruce Pearl, you don't know what you're going to get either, so that part is frustrating. Just kind of talk about how the inconsistency, I guess, there, it makes it hard for both coaches, really.
Yeah, and this Alabama team has guys that are capable, and I think we probably all thought that before the season. You had some guys that are capable of having big nights, but do they have guys that are consistent, that can consistently get you double figures? And I would say Retno Basahan has been that guy. I mean, he's been the most consistent player on the Alabama team, and he's had some big games. And there have been games that he's been a little bit down, didn't score well against Vanderbilt, but for the most part, he's been the one guy that you can count on both ends of the floor. Riley Norris has been really good doing what he does. Now, he's not expected to get you 27 on a regular basis like he did against South Carolina. Now it shows that he's capable of maybe scoring a little more, but he's a effort, energy guy. He was put in the starting lineup for rebounding purposes. This Alabama team has really struggled rebounding the ball, and he's a guy that's going to go after it as hard as anybody on the floor. So you've got Shannon Hale, who I thought was playing his best basketball before he went out with his medical situation, and played really well against Vanderbilt, especially in the first half. So hopefully he'll be a guy that can be more consistent on the offensive end. But the bottom line for Alabama is this is a team that just doesn't have a lot of pure scores. Losing their top 3 scores from a team that had trouble scoring last year, losing Levi Randolph, Rodney Cooper, Ricky Tarrant, you knew this team was going to be maybe at best inconsistent on the offensive end, and that's been the case this year.
I think one of the big things, and I certainly am not bragging on either one of them's rebound in particular. We know they're down somewhat, but I think the basketball team that gets a putback every now and then around the basket, what falls in their hands, or they get it and get it back in around the basket. Not a bunch of them, but 3, 4, 5 of them. Alabama, I think, has a little bit better chance to do that because of the 2 big kids they have inside, and also with their forwards are bigger, I think. So even though I look and talk about 3-point shots, and I think that's important, I don't know how many fast break baskets either team will get, but I do think there is a place around the basket for one of the teams to get 5 putbacks versus the other team getting 2 putbacks. I just think that's big.
Yeah, I think it is. And both teams haven't done that with consistency. I know being around the Alabama program a little bit and going to some practices, that's definitely a point of emphasis by Avery Johnson and the staff. But, you know, I don't have to tell you. You can tell them to do something all day long. And,
sure.
and you know, they don't always do it. But
nope.
They've gotten better rebounding the ball. And, you know, I think to emphasize what he's been telling this team is to put Riley Norris in the starting lineup and give him more minutes, because he is a guy that is relentless with effort on the glass on both ends of the floor. And, you know, this is an Auburn team that shoots a lot of threes, and Alabama with Arthur Edwards, Retna Boston, Justin Coleman, you know, they're not putting up nearly the number of Auburn, but there's some long rebounds and some opportunities. And when you're a team, especially Alabama, who's had trouble scoring, you got to find a way to get points, free throws, second chance points, you know, deflections, and get something in transition. They haven't made it easy on themselves this year by getting those easy buckets. And you know, maybe easy isn't the right word. Maybe it's you know, effort, you know, doing something to get yourself, you know, get yourself to the free throw line or second chance points. When Alabama's done that, they've really helped themselves on the offensive end.
Well, Bryan, we appreciate it. It should be a great game tonight. You know, both teams, you know, right now on the outside looking in, probably the NCAA tournament, but who knows? You put one streak together. Clemson was dead. And now they put a streak together. So I think it's an important basketball game for recruiting purposes. So we appreciate you being on and look forward to a hostile environment and a great game tonight.
Thanks, Bryan.
Looking forward to it, guys. I think it's a huge game for both teams. Auburn capitalizing off their win against Kentucky, and Alabama with these first 5 games. The schedule gets more favorable here in a week or two, so this game would be huge to get on the road against your rival.
All right, Ryan, just tweet out where we need to donate to your political campaign. Appreciate you being on today. Thank you.
Hey, Coach and I are right.
Bye.